Title: Dawn Worship 200 to 1 Corinthians 10 Contents 1 Corinthians 10 We need discipline in self-control, 1 Corinthians 9, 24-27. We must not fall into self-indulgence and pride. First, we must be careful not to fall, verses 1-13. Although the ancestors of Israel were guided by the pillar of cloud, Exodus 13, crossed the Red Sea, Exodus 14, ate manna, Exodus 16, and drank living water from the rock, Exodus 17, most of them perished in the wilderness, verses 1-5. Their evils were idolatry, verse 7, fornication, verse 8, temptation, verse 9, and murmuring, verse 10. These records of the Bible provide an example and a spiritual awakening, verses 6-11. Therefore, whoever thinks he is standing must be careful lest he fall, verse 12. Because if you fall into self-indulgence and self-confidence, you will perish. The faithful God allows only the trials we are able to bear and gives us the way of escape so that we can bear them, verse 13. Second, we must avoid idolatry, verses 14-22. Flee from idolatry, verse 14, means serve God alone. Here are 3 reasons to avoid idolatry. First, it is because we have spiritual fellowship with Christ through the sacrament. Verses 16-17. Second, because idolatry is fellowship with demons, verses 18-20. Of course, Paul had the knowledge that idols were nothing, and sacrifices to idols were nothing, verse 19. However, the sacrifices made by the Gentiles are sacrifices to demons, not to God, and participating in the sacrifices of the Gentiles and eating their offerings is an act of fellowship with demons, verse 20. Third, because God is a jealous God, verses 21-22. Third, we must seek the interests of others, verses 23-33. The Kyarindo Church claimed that everything is permissible and freely ate sacrifices to idols. But not all are beneficial or edifying, verse 23. We must seek the interests of others rather than ourselves, verse 24. For example, if you buy meat at the market, verse 25, or if you are invited to a meal by an unbeliever, verse 27, for the sake of your conscience, you must eat without asking questions. However, if someone says that it is a sacrifice, you must not eat it for the sake of others' conscience, verse 28. This is an act for the glory of God, verse 31. We must become one who benefits many people, not one who suffers with the desire to save one more soul, verses 32-33. Q. Do you live for God's glory rather than my own?